Tuesday, everyone. It's so great to be here with you again this week on the latest episode of Get on the Grid with Chessie Roberts. My guest tonight is Phillip Collins, and he and I would like for you to join us in aligning with the energies of co-creation so that this show gives you the best information to your highest good and best outcome. Welcome, Phillip. It's so nice to have you back.
It's great to be here as well.
For those of you who may not know Phillip, he brings a multi-dimensional background into being one of the co-founders of the Angel News Network and founder of the Angel News Network as a teacher, life coach, author, poet, filmmaker, and healing arts light ascension therapist addressing the balance of our emotional, mental, and physical bodies during the transformational times. As a conscious channel, he receives messages and wisdom from various higher realms which are empowering and are reflected in all of his endeavors. And I am so thrilled that you're here tonight because I think we're going to get to hear from some of these higher realms, right?
Yes, we're going to hear directly today. I am a semi-trance conscious channel, and what that means, I sort of just get myself mentally, emotionally, and physically out of the way. And I'm going to bring in today Archangel Uriel, and Archangel Uriel is known as an earth teacher and a guider of our planet. He's been with us since the inception of our creation. And he wanted to speak today because the name of Chessie's show is On the Grid. And so today they want to talk about the magical magnetic grid and what it really means in relationship to the planet and humanity. So I'm going to go into trance. Just give me one moment to do that. They will go through a series of information and teachings. I will pause periodically for Chessie to respond, ask questions, or if we need to take a break, and then we'll just continue the time that we have and allow them to bring in whatever they wish to bring in at this particular divine moment.
Thank you. I'm very honored for this.
Greetings, beloved human beings, being human. Dear ones, today we're going to be speaking about the magnetic grid, the magical magnetic grid. Your sciences are finally able to begin to understand the magical energetic components of your divine planet, planet Earth, the lessons and laboratories of learning to love. There are unseen forces that prevent your daily destruction that also promise to become free energy sources for all of you that will change your political and your financial, your economic structures forever. Dear ones, there's an energy grid inside the core of your planet that works together with physical crystalline structures and portals and vortices on the surface of the planet on which you humans reside. Humanity is in the process of transmuting from a dense carbon-based structure to a lighter, high vibrational crystalline structure, what you call your Ascension Process, and many of you are aware of this. The totality of this energy grid affects all things inside and upon the body of the planet. The energies from this grid go out from within and form an etheric grid around the entire planet, not only protecting the planet, but affecting your human, emotional, mental, and physical bodies as well. Human consciousness is also rising as the planet's energy increases. So in effect, beloved humans, Mother Earth is birthing a new you. We shall pause.
Thank you, Archangel Uriel. When I channel from the higher realms to create the message for my regular grid charge that I do for the Life Energy Grid program, is this all connected with what you're speaking about?
Yes, dear one. It is connected through the fragments of your divine, unique soul plan in combination with the others. The divine reason that you and the channel that we're coming through now is to build communities of equality, harmony, and balance in order to bring this forth more strongly. As an essential aspect of your divine divinity, this grid continues to receive upgrades, shifting you from one epoch to another. Most recently, dear one, it was the Piscean age, the masculine energy, to now the Aquarian age, the feminine energies. And you, dear one, are putting together elements of the feminine energies to support the Aquarian age now, which we'll be delighted to discuss with you at a future time. This not so simple means that both assertive masculine and receptive feminine energies are moving into balance. For dear one, your species, your humanity cannot go forward without it. Your evolutionary path cannot go forward without this occurrence of the masculine and the feminine balancing. It will be led by the Western feminine energies. You have put together a panel to begin to demonstrate this. You are currently experiencing the imbalances of these two vital energies, a lack of equality, harmony, and balance, which will soon be replaced with balance, dear one.
Thank you. I want to ask you about this masculine-feminine energy shift. I had my crystal grid on a feminine anticorona, and it broke when the big shift hit back in 2012, and I have since put it on a masculine anticorona. Do I need to change back to the feminine one, or is it all right as it is, as sort of a balance?
It's all right as it is, dear one, and it will go along in divine order. Your energetic grid, this integrated grid we're speaking about, is integrated through the sacred geometrics in your individuated soul plan. And then your mental and physical bodies allowing how you feel and think to manifest a higher consciousness to activate your purpose in being here and affect your soul plan. You're all learning to love, dear one.
Thank you. Please continue.
In the beginning of New Age thinking, it was believed that a global shift and ascension would just automatically take place through a series of infusions of energy to the planet herself, and then from the planet to each person individually, sort of an automatic process. Remember, many of you thought through 2012 that that was the moment this would happen. In reality, dear humans, what needs to happen is each of you, as the cells of the body of the planet, must anchor and integrate these energetic frequencies individually to fully account for all the unique configurations of human consciousness in each of your unique plans. The channel that we're coming through now was once part of 2 sacred journeys to Mount Shasta, which is an energetic vortex for this planet, to begin the process that we're talking about. He and his brethren chose and were chosen to be proxies for all of humanity.
Thank you. Please continue.
In the beginning of New Age thinking, that's the way it was. Now, another way to explain this ascension process is to say your unique individual soul plan, your crystalline grid, the DNA metrics in effect, will shift in a slightly different manner for each of you, since you're all unique divine expressions of God experiencing herself. In being and doing this, you will maintain and sustain the full spectrum of vibrations needed for a true global shift. Now you can better see the interrelationship of your planet with your relationship with self. For dear ones, the only relationship you're having is the one with yourself, mirroring out to others.
Thank you. As we do this and as we come together to do this, does that make it happen faster?
Dear one, as equal and balanced energies harmonize from larger and larger communities of individuals, such as the ones you're creating and the channel we're coming through now, and you integrating and coming together, there will be individual and collective shifts. The global shift will manifest in ever-increasing frequencies, creating what you might call a quantum effect. As the planet's magnetic grid shifts, the surface crystal grids will be reborn. This process is happening now. Dear one, the next meaningful grid shift is that of human consciousness. There is much planetary and personal clearing and cleansing taking place now in terms of energies being received, and it is important to see communities of equality, harmony, and balance being created, and their intention fully supporting the mission of the earth and all those within and upon her body.
Thank you. As we join together to create these larger communities for this process, does this strengthen the grid and allow it, the earth energy grid, and allow it to grow, or is it changing into something else entirely?
Dear one, in effect, what you are asking is, what are the effects and the uses of this enhanced planetary crystal grid at this time? Are you not?
Yes, you're correct.
The crystal grid, or sometimes called the crystal life stream, has basically two aspects. One is the physical, and the other the etheric. This is the composition of most things within the universe, including you, dear one. The primary reason for the grid is for the energetic amplification in the physical and storage and transfer this information into the etheric. Let us repeat that, dear ones.
Please.
The primary focus for the grid is for the energetic amplification in the physical, and your mental, emotional, and physical beingness, and storage and transfer of this information in the etheric. The grid, to further answer your question, is a direct conduit for human consciousness to access and bring joyful perceptions into the denser earth frequency. And have you noticed, dear ones, in your world current events, there's much denseness clearing. There's much separation and duality. There's much confrontation as a result of that. It is a 3D that you reside in now that is being elevated, raised, cleared, and cleansed during what you call the Ascension Process, or your divine destiny at this time. As you might imagine, dear ones, the crystal grid has always been in place within and around your planet. What you're experiencing now is an expansion of the effects of the grid and the planet and the human DNA. This is a direct result of the ascension of the energies of the crystal grid into higher and pure vibrations.
Thank you. Does this ascension of the crystal grid, as you were just speaking of, does that reverberate out into the cosmos as it grows?
Dear one, what you are experiencing now as you interact with the crystal grid in the ascension process is what the planet herself chose to undergo as an essential part of her soul plan to return to light. You all came from light. You are all in the process of returning to light. That includes your planet. As you look up into the night sky and you see all the stars, imagine, dear ones, that they were all planets that went through an ascension evolutionary process, not unlike your own, to return to becoming a body of light. Through this integration and interaction with the planet's process itself, your physical bodies are also restructuring, moving, as we have mentioned, from a dense carbon to a lighter crystalline structure. Your crystalline structure is ascending through the adjustment of your DNA day by day, moment by moment, now by now, through the energies of your heart. This happens as you increase and maintain your levels, quote, of love and light day by day, moment by moment. Dear ones, this is the way, the magnificent way you have chosen to learn. What is actually happening is that your believing mind is moving back into service to your knowing, loving heart.
Thank you. Sometimes during meditation, when I allow my mind to connect with the unity consciousness of mind, I feel my body feels as though I'm effervescing, maybe like a tablet in water. Is this part of all of that?
Yes, Joanne. Let's talk a little bit about the adjustment of your DNA, which is what you're physically feeling. DNA elements have been shut down within the evolutionary process of humanity by forces who have been controlling and attempting to control you in the past and at present. As a result of the ascension process of the planet and of humanity upon and within the planet, this is shifting and changing, and the DNA is reconnecting, allowing chakra systems, what has been called junk DNA, to open up, advanced chakra, spiritual chakra systems beyond your 7, going into 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, reflecting the 12 star systems that seeded your planet. All of this is in the process of happening, which will create physical, mental, and emotional symptoms. Does that help you, dear one?
Yes, thank you. We've just got a few more seconds before a break. Do you have anything you'd like to add at this time?
Well, after our break, we would like to really talk about why is this happening. So let's absorb for a moment. Let's take a deep breath. Let's connect with our hearts. Place your hands upon your hearts. Connect with the beat of your hearts, which connect with the electromagnetic pulse of the planet, which is maintaining and sustaining your heart and your frequency. So as we take a break, merely connect with the pulse of your heart with the beat of the planet through this grid, and we will come back after the breath as we connected with our heart frequencies that are maintained and sustained by the frequencies in this grid, which we are visiting and learning more about today, beginning to now understand, why is this happening? Dear ones, your planet goes through major cosmic cycles of 26,000-year cycles and smaller 2,000-year cycles within the 26,000-year cycles. For a moment, imagine what happened 2,000 years ago. The embodiment of the Christ consciousness, independent of any religious beliefs or dogma, came back into your world. Your I Am presence was activated. Your Christ consciousness was activated 2,000 years ago. This is the final 26,000-year cycle of your planet. Your planet is now within one of the major cycles of moving into a higher level of existence. Thus, everything within and upon her body will move also. That includes humanity, you who have chosen to be human, you who have chosen to enter into a contract of being human. Each of you has also chosen a new life without duality, separation, and confrontation. You are in the process of healing your final journey of death, of leaving the physical format through the activation of your soul plan. Endeavors and discussions such as the ones you're having now and the channel we're going through now through the Angel News Network and on the grid endeavors and many others connecting with the higher frequencies are to bring the tools and teachings that you need to assist you. We cannot interfere with your freedom of choice and freedom of will, but we can continue, as we have for millennia, to give you tools and teachings to assist you in your process. Dear ones, are you ready to receive them? The vibrational shift of the grid is taking place whether you are aware of it or not. Each of your vibrational frequencies is also entraining itself to that of the grid, which is raising higher and higher. Thus, the entire planet is now fully involved in what you have called the Ascension Process.
Thank you. Please continue.
Many of you call yourselves light workers and way-showers. What is the difference between the two? A way-shower is someone who wishes to bring en masse the teachings of the light worker out into the world. It's perfectly okay, dear ones, if you just wish to remain a light worker and not a way-shower. But those who are connecting with now are most likely resonating with being both, are you not? And dear ones, as light workers and way-showers, it is helpful to interact with the grid in a more conscious way in order to gain a fuller understanding of its uses. That's why we're coming to you now and applying the cosmic science, if you will, of what this grid is, what its purpose is, and how it affects you in your consciousness, in your emotions, your feelings, your thoughts, and your physical body. If it resonates, make a commitment within your heart space to access the grid for the good of all, which is the endeavor of your host and the channel who are coming together with you today. During past golden ages, such as Atlantis, the grid was often accessed for corrupt purposes, and there are those of you now who are attempting to access it for corrupt purposes at this time as well, repeating the past of Atlantis. While the past lessons learned were essential, humanity still has a long way to go. And we ask you to become conscious, not to repeat the patterns of the past.
Thank you. Please continue.
The archangelic realms, such as we of Uriel, Gabriel, Michael, Raphael, that the endeavor called the Angel News Network is completely connected to, as well as many others. These archangelic realms, through the Council of Archangelic Realms, CAR, C-A-R, are instrumental in the gifting of cyberspace technologies in order to assist you in freeing yourself from 3D controls. Yes, dear ones, the human mind did not invent cyberspace or the internet. It was gifted to you from we of the archangelic realm of Uriel to free you from your 3D. For the Ethernet, in effect, is beyond 3D. It is further out into 4D, astral, psychic, projection, which allows you to free yourself from the controls of 3D. Much of the present abuse and addictive use of the technologies that we have gifted you is reflecting things of the past. Dear ones, we ask you to be aware of your addictive behavior and how it can, through the technology that we've gifted you, separate you from one another and prevent the intimate relationship with self and others. Know that the extreme misuse and abuse or intention to harm others will not be allowed to happen again, dear ones. That is not a part of the ascension process for your planet of humanity. Those who continue to attempt to harm will experience a swift return of their energies inverted upon themselves and the karmic consequence of any harmful agenda. To move into ascension is to make the oath of the light worker and to take the oath of the light worker and way shore to do no harm to self or others.
Thank you. Is reconnecting with our Mother Earth a good way for us to utilize this information in a more positive way?
Absolutely. The grid lies within the heart of your mother, Gaia, Mother Earth. You've all chosen to be here through multi-incarnational cycles. Your humanity, your pledge, your oath, your contract, if you will, to be human is to be a part of this planet. And in connecting with your planet, dear ones, begin to know that she is a conscious living being, that her organs are her air, her water, her oil, her minerals, which you're using as fuel and abusing. And all of your discussions about climate change and alternative fuel, dear ones, where is anyone discussing that the planet is a conscious living being? And how you treat her, if you continue to abuse her, that will be reflected upon yourself. And the way the planet cleanses and clears herself is what you call natural events. Pay attention to natural events, to weather systems for dear ones. It is your emotions and thoughts that are creating them.
Thank you. Could you talk a little bit more about that?
Yes. Due to the past abuses from many epochs since the fall of Atlantis, Lemuria, early Egypt, Aztec, Mayan, the etheric crystal grid was moved farther away from the atmosphere of the planet to protect further abuse from the grid. Those were all past golden ages that were lost due to humanity's disconnect from the grid, due to humanity's disconnect from the higher realms that maintained and sustained and gifted them with the past golden ages of Atlantis, Lemuria, early Egypt, Aztec, Mayan. That's what all those have in common. There were advanced ages beyond what you can achieve at this time. This decision to protect the planet from further abuses was made by the Intergalactic Federation and creation itself to protect the grid from further misuse and corruption of its matrix. That's why it was moved further away from the planet through the Intergalactic Federation, through the Council of Creation, Source, God, call it what you may, to protect this sacred grid itself for further misuse and corruption of its matrix. The planet and humanity were allowed to live without its direct influence for a very long time, and your history reflects this absence. And this has dumbed down and diminished your innate spiritual abilities. You're now in the process of reclaiming your full potential, but you have a long way to go.
Thank you. Can you give us some pointers into how we can do better at recreating this connection?
Yes, through your freedom of choice and will. And there's no one or no way that can be taken from you. You can find your world poised and become aware of its self-destructive elements by becoming conscious of it. But not as powerful as the advanced civilizations of the past. Today, the scenario resembles more of a slow and painful autoimmune disease where the organism eats away at itself. such as the cancers and the HIVs, two of the world's largest killers, are in the process of being manifested throughout your world, or your recent Ebola epidemic. By becoming conscious of your freedom of choice and freedom of will and making another choice, choosing more conscious leaders, governmental, religious, corporate. As the mind, dear one, moves back into service to the knowing heart, the mind that believes and the heart that knows, your hearts are awakening to all that is stored in the DNA of the heart from all of your past incarnational cycles. It's all there. You're learning how to remember the lessons from the disconnect from the past and the abuses of the past. The question is, are you ready to make a new choice and create a new world of equality, harmony, and balance?
Thank you. Please continue.
Dear ones, you cannot create in the physical world without the physical process of crystallization. Crystals and the process through which a physical crystal is formed, which is uniting the higher and the lower aspects of the divine, male and female, and all the elements, is what you are learning now. We shall repeat that. You cannot create in the physical world without the physical process of crystallization, which is the grid, which is the crystalline grid, which is the magnetic grid, which radiates its energy outward. Crystals, and the process of which a physical crystal is formed, unites the higher and lower aspects of the divine, male and female, which you are learning to balance, and all the elements of the earth. At present, dear ones, you're in balance of the masculine and feminine energies, and that has little to do with your sexuality or your genital. It has to do with moving you forward. It is the reason for all of your imbalances, your prejudice, whether it be racial or religious or gender-related. All of this is a basis of the imbalance of the masculine and feminine energies. It's why we support becoming conscious of that balance and the need to place it forward. Again, the balancing of the masculine and feminine energies. Right and wrong, solution and problem, light and darkness, male and female. They are all aspects of the same thing. Those of you who are physically male or female are energetically the other. And you choose in between incarnational cycles which to choose or be. You may have a long period of choosing to be physically male or female and then switch. But dear ones, you have all been all of it. You have come here to experience all aspects of humanity. And you have often learned what is through what is not.
Thank you. We have 1 minute to break. Do you have anything you'd like to add?
The importance of the balance of the masculine and feminine energies before we take break again, dear ones. Meditate upon this and see where your prejudice, your duality, your separation, thinking you are better than or different from. You have abused the very energy in the feminine aspect that is creation that allows humanity to come forward. That is insane. That insanity will stop. Yes, dear ones. The full ascension process of the earth is taking place now through the physical grid that we are discussing at this time, and will continue until the vibration of the planet reaches a dimensional shift and unites with her divine soul plan. Then human consciousness will reach a new and greater level of consciousness and a new existence, which is your destiny. You are now in the process of creating your final golden age upon this particular planet, raising to a frequency existence, a light being existence, if you will, which will allow you to return to the light from which you came. And what you do with that light at that time is through your freedom of choice and freedom of will.
Thank you. Please continue.
Through the grid of which we are speaking, you reach into the hearts and the minds of all who resonate, connect to it. That is the intention of this show at this time. Let us repeat, dear ones. Through the grid, you reach into the hearts and minds of all who resonate, connect to it. You receive answers to questions asked and the healing and the manifestation energies necessary for any endeavor or service you may intend. You move from me consciousness to we consciousness, connected to the higher realms and your soul plans. And this has been a pattern that has repeated itself throughout your evolutionary process. But much of your history does not include this true journey. Once this is revealed to you, which it is your destiny for the truth of your existence to be revealed to you, exactly how you came into existence, and that could be another teaching at a future time, for you do not have the true evolutionary path for humanity. It is not common knowledge at this time, and you're destined to know exactly who you are, why you're here, and where you came from. Once all of this is revealed to you, it will be a game changer.
Thank you. I read somewhere just recently in an advanced text that our mind is actually where our soul resides and vice versa. Is this so, or did I misread?
The mind does not exist completely within the soul, but the soul exists within your physicality, which includes an aspect of your mind, your emotions, and your thoughts. So let us delineate between soul and spirit at the moment, and this may help you, dear one. You have a soul connection, an etheric body connection, or a higher self connection, as long as you are in physical format. When you leave physical format and what you call so-called death, the soul goes through itself an ascension process and returns to spirit, which is your eternal beingness, your light body. So the soul moves into spirit. Does that help you, dear one?
Yes, thank you very much. Please continue.
The highest good use of the grid is mandatory. In other words, the grid's commitment, if you will, and mission, if you will, is for the good of all. Remember, dear ones, the high realms are here to work with each of you in appropriate ways. And you can simply connect with us by calling upon us, by simply asking for assistance. For we cannot come to you without your asking. We cannot interfere with your freedom of choice and your freedom of will. Again, as many of you know, each of you is now experiencing the restructuring of your carbon-based DNA into a pure crystal format. It is your destiny to move into this higher crystalline light body in order to reflect the process of the planet. As she shifts, the planet herself, into a higher light body, which is her soul plan, everything within and upon her will and must do the same. Those of you who make a decision not to be a part of that process will continue your soul journey elsewhere, within another galaxy, within another solar system, upon another planet. And you will take the number of lifetimes you need or resonate with to finish your destination of ascension. You are all destined to ascend, dear ones. How and when and where you do that is your choice. You can make a decision to do it within this lifetime, the next incarnational lifetime, or wherever or whenever. The clearings and cleansings that take place as a result of this, through your mental, emotional, and physical body, through these realignments of the ascension process, can be painful and uncomfortable at times. This pain, which can become suffering if the pain becomes long-term, is your resistance to the shift. Let us repeat this, because many of you are having physical, mental, and emotional symptoms. But we'd like for you to understand why this is taking place. You're experiencing mental, emotional, and physical realignments. The clearings and cleansings as a result of these realignments can be painful and uncomfortable. The only way you can experience your humanity and the frequency you reside in with dear ones is through your emotions, your thoughts, and your physical body. And again, it is your resistance to the shift that creates the pain and uncomfort. All of your physical symptoms, dear one, are a result of your emotional body, how you are feeling. The channel that we're coming through now and many others are bringing out new approaches to healing through Archangel Gabriel as to what is the relationship of the emotions, the feelings that you emote, the thoughts that they create, and the types of imbalances, the energetic imbalances that's created in your physical being is what you call disease. Become aware that all the shifts are for your highest good, and remove as much of your resistance as possible and accepting with compassion and forgiving how you're choosing to learn, even the pain that's necessary. This formula of accepting with compassion, thus forgiving, is the key. You cannot simply say, dear ones, I forgive it. Become aware through your consciousness, what is it that you are accepting within yourself or others? Through compassion from your heart that knows exactly what's going on, through all that's stored in the DNA of past lives, which allows the forgiveness, which supports the way you're choosing to learn.
Thank you. I wanted to ask you, sometimes when I'm meditating or talking to you all through meditation, I don't feel connected to you. We have a signal that we've worked out, me and my guidance, and sometimes I don't get that when I ask for it. Is there a reason for that, or is it just me overthinking things?
We'd like to give you this mantra, dear one, because the channel we're coming through now uses himself. Anytime you wish to connect with a higher frequency, first of all, set the intention that you will be connecting with a higher frequency and not a dense astral energy, which is in the fourth dimension. And say the following mantra: I release myself from myself. This is not about me. I release myself from myself. This is not about me. I receive and commit and am ready to be a messenger of the higher realms. Anything that impedes that process is your resistance to seeing yourself good enough or worthy enough to receive it and be that messenger, dear one. Does that help you?
Yes, thank you very much. Please continue.
So in conclusion of our teaching, and then we can continue Q&A if we need it, now you know a little more about crystals and the crystal magnetic grid in the core of your planet and its relationship with you and your consciousness. You can choose to interact with these crystals in healing past traumas and present toxic energies. For dear ones, within the Ascension Process, you are healing past life issues as well as present life. Many of you are not aware or conscious of the past life issues that are coming up now, particularly in the feminine energy, which has been abused or subjugated by the masculine energy for eons on this particular planet. Crystals are conscious beings here to support you. This grid that we're talking about is composed of them. Connect with the crystal grid and ask for messages. See yourself good enough and worthy enough to receive those. And dear ones, when you receive these, as the channel we're coming through now and the host of your show today is being, share what you receive with others in communities of equality, harmony, and balance. Each of you holds a unique piece of the awareness that completes the puzzle. The sharing coming into the communities that you're creating through endeavors such as is happening now are essential, dear ones. Our teaching is complete about the magical magnetic grid, but we're open to any further questions or clarifications you may need at this time.
I would like to ask you, is that what you just said about the communications and the living crystals, is that why I have begun to channel the information from the higher realms rather than just tell people what energies were added to the grid?
Yes, dear one, you're in the process of, rather than telling people what you know, sharing what comes through you. Do you see the difference, dear one?
I certainly do, and I feel it too. I'm so honored that you've decided to do this through me. I'm very grateful.
Well, pay attention to the synchronicity of that, of your soul plan and the soul plan of the channel that we're coming through now. Pay attention to the feelings that you have when the two of you connect, and you're taking those feelings and radiating, integrating those out into the community and sharing them in a heartfelt way. Are you not, dear one?
I feel that I am. One of the things that I say is that light workers shine so that others may see. Is that a correct analogy?
Rather than saying I feel, why not say I know, dear one?
Well, I thought I did. I just wanted to check with you first before I said that, but thank you.
It is not a matter of seeking your empowerment through us. It is a matter of knowing it and allowing us to assist you in awakening it within yourself and have your believing become knowing. Your believing
that process
become knowing.
Growing rapidly. Thank you.
Yes, the mental body believes. It has been a wonderful masculine energy, assertive tool for humanity, but it is due time that it moves back into service to the knowing heart that has stored all of which we have spoken of today. And as a result of that, there can be a balance of the mind back into the heart, the masculine to the feminine, giving and receiving, right and wrong, good and bad, light and dark, masculine and feminine. They are all aspects of the same thing, simply as a learning tool, a way that you have chosen to learn. But the end time, the timeline change and ending has come for humanity. As we said within this teaching and sharing, you're in the final epoch of this particular planet. It moves in 26,000-year cycles divided into 2,000-year cycles. You're in your final 2,000-year cycle. Those of you can decide to make your ascension evolutionary process at this time, the next cycle, the one after that, or whenever, or in another galaxy, solar system, or planet. But those who remain here will ascend.
Thank you. We have one more minute before I have to close the show with your channel, Phillip. Do you have anything else you'd like to add before you go?
We are in service to humanity. The Council of Archangelic Realms, Gabriel, Michael, Raphael, and Uriel are here in service to the planet and the Council of Creation. Call upon us. We are here to support you. Share the wisdoms, the messages that are coming through many of you. What the channel we're coming through today is not a unique being. He is simply way showing those of you who are not connecting directly that that is within your DNA to be so and to do so. Then you will become telepathic. You will know exactly what each other are thinking and feeling. It will eliminate any deceit or untruth within your world, which is prevalent at this time. You have chosen a magnificent journey of being human. In order to complete that journey, to move out into the world, the solar system, the galaxy, the universe, the multiverse, and beyond, to be master teachers of all there is. And so it is, dear ones.
Thank you, and blessings for being with us today.
You're welcome, dear one.
Phillip, are you back with us?
Coming back. Hi, I'm back.
Hi, thank you so much. That was wonderful. I think we are going to, I know I'm going to learn a lot because I'll be listening to this on playback several times. I appreciate your doing this and allowing it, and for Archangel Uriel to come and speak with us today. I'm very overwhelmed by everything, and I appreciate it.
Well, we're all in service to it, are we not?
Yes,
we're all in service to it. Any further support that I can be with you along the way, Chessie, I'm here.
Thank you. Before I let you go, could you please tell our listeners how to get in touch with you if they would like to contact you directly?
Yes, through the angelnewsnetwork.com, www.theangelnews, plural, theangelnewsnetwork.com, and you can, there's a Gmail account in there. My personal email address is phillipecollins@aol.com, Phillip with 2 L's, middle initial E as in Elton, phillipecollins@aol.com. And we'd be delighted to hear from anyone, and it's been our pleasure and honor to be with you all today.
Thank you. I want you to know, too, listeners, that all of Phillip's contact information and a little bit more about him and what he does will be in the advertisements that I put out for the show. I think he'll be with us at the beginning of next year, so I'm really excited for this show. I want to thank you, Phillip, for being here. It's been wonderful having you. And I would like all my listeners to thank them so much for being here on tonight's show here on Intention Radio. If you'd like to send in a question or a topic you would like covered on the show, please send your question, your suggestion, or your request to me at Chessie@ChessieRoberts.com. After the program, I think I'm going to see if Phillip would be gracious enough to do this again sometime. And if you have any questions that you would like directed in his next interview with me, please send them to me, and I'll put them on hold to have for the show next time, if that's all right with you, Phillip.
Absolutely, and our social media publicists in New York, Omar Prince, and my colleagues, Jeff Fasano, Los Angeles, and Joel Anastasia, they'll be promoting the show as well.
Okay, wonderful, wonderful. So you can send these to me at Chessie@ChessieRoberts.com, or you can send them to Phillip and check in with him. You can find all of my information at ChessieRoberts.com, all my classes and services and programs. You can find my music at archersmeadow.com, and my book is on Amazon.com. Hopefully I'll have the new one out soon, probably next year, and I'm real excited about that. So the show's a little short tonight, and that's just because it's been so intense, but I thank you for listening. And be sure to be with me next Tuesday at 7 p.m.
Chessie, may I add one other thing? They can go into the Angel News Network library of 10 books, and all of that is channeled material supporting the teaching today and beyond for anyone that's interested in those particular libraries. And there's some great holiday sales being offered to people as well.
Okay, thank you. I'm glad you put that in there. Anyway, thank you for listening, and be sure to be with me next Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific, and 2 p.m. Hawaii for Get on the Grid with Chessie Roberts. Have a great week. Bright blessings and